Sarah, Mariam, Zia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again in the beautiful Jum'ah. My Jum'ah today is in Cairo, Egypt. And may all of our Jum'ahs, wherever we are enjoying this blessed day, be a true blessing for us. Alhamdulillah, shukrillah. We are welcoming you to Lita'arafu. Our team name comes from a Quranic verse where we are reminded that we are purposefully put here on earth to learn from one another how to live mindfully. This is why we come together, and this is the reason that we are created the way we are. Allah reminds us, "Oh, the humankind, we created you from one male and one female, made you into many nations and tribes, so that you get to learn from one another, to know from one another." What do we need to learn and know? That indeed the most honored of you in the sight of God is thee with the most mindfulness, the most consciousness, the most awareness. Indeed, God is the all-knowing and is well aware. So Allah has put us together as co-travelers with each other to help each other build a better relationship with Him. Because those of us who are the most conscious of Him, the ones that have the best relationship with Him, are the ones that are most honored in His sight. And our journey is to establish that relationship with Him, to make that relationship exist all the time, not only part of the time, to make that relationship grow until we meet Him, to make our time on earth a time that we are longing for the full clarity of this relationship. We get a taste of this relationship here, but we get the full experience of the relationship in the real life. Allah created us as conscious beings, and as conscious beings, He created us with the need for meaning and purpose. None of us likes doing anything that is of no meaning or has no goal or purpose. We're created that way. And this creation in us, we've been using it forever in finding meaning in the work we do, finding meaning in the relationships we have with each other. But what Quran comes and God tells us is we need to use that consciousness in actually analyzing everything and finding meaning in creation, finding meaning in our creation, and spending our time confirming that meaning, confirming this creation must have a creator, confirming the perfection of creation we see around us is meant for us to know our creator. And Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, that we have not been left with this task without guidance. The guidance came from the first revelation to our beloved Prophet, the first revelation where Allah commands us to read everything in His name. Iqra bismi rabbika. Iqra bismi rabbika. To read everything with bismi rabbika. Don't read it in your own name. Don't read it in the career you have name. Don't read it in your spouse's name. Don't read it in your children's name. Don't read it in your wealth's name. Read everything. Bismi rabbika. Not Bismillah, but Bismi rabbika. What is that Rabb? That's the honoring, sustaining, loving, caring being who is creating here and now, creating the ability for me to make nutuk, to articulate something meaningful, to conceptualize a meaning, then articulate it, who's subserving the air particles in the universe to carry this, who's subserving the signals in the universe to make us see each other over globes and seas, who's subserving my lungs, my vocal folds, my vocal tract, who's subserving the areas of my brain, who's subserving the areas of your brain, your hearing, to receive and understand. Read this, that we are here together, communicating with each other, that you are willing to listen and hear, and you're listening and hear, and I am willing with my little measurement of will to speak to you, and I'm finding myself speaking to you with so much ease. I'm not chiseling the words on big blocks and then sending them to you. I'm just conceptualizing them with this measuring will that Allah is saying, look, this measuring will creates a word. I'm always creating. With me, you cannot create that word, make it happen without me giving you the existence, the breath, giving everything existence for this word to manifest out there. It is me creating. I'm giving you this little ability to experience what you do so that you know me. So read everything, اقرأ everything, بسم ربك الذي خلق. Read everything that is happening in the name of this Rabb, this loving, caring, honoring, sustaining Rabb, who's creating here and now your thought, my needing to articulate, my ability to articulate, and actually the creation of this articulation as a word, as a sound wave that is transferred to you. God is reminding us that this reading that he's asking us to do is crucial. He created us from a hanging cloth. He said, read in the name of this Rabb who's creating here and now, who's created you from a hanging cloth. We get so distracted by who we are, what we are, the way we look. We think, I've always been that way. God is saying, no, go ahead, go and read and realize if you actually learn how to read the way your Rabb wants you to read, this will be his most generous gift to you. This is what Yamina is calling now the indispensable gift. The indispensable gift of reading everything in the name of a loving, honoring, sustaining Rabb. Everything that's happening, regardless on how I see it, if I can learn how to read it in the name of an honoring, loving, sustaining Rabb, this will be the most generous gift ever. The most generous gift. اقرأ وربك الأكرم. This gift of reading everything بسم ربك الذي خلق is the most generous gift. Akram. There's so many Kareem, so many generosity in this world. We were reading Jawshan the other day, and it was, the dot was saying, Anta akram al-akramin. You are the most absolute, infinite, generous being, from which any other generosity that I see and taste is not enough for me, because I'm made to want more and more. I'm made to want the absolute infinite generosity, the generosity that is absolutely there, 100% generosity. And it's always there. It doesn't waver. It doesn't depend on the mood of the person or the, or whatever is showing me this generosity. I want generosity that showed to me all the time, doesn't change with moods, doesn't change with events. I want that. And God says, in that, I am the Akram. And how is that being the Akram, the most generous? Because I'm teaching you that you have a Rabb, that you can read and confirm his existence, and he's most generous. And definitely, he's teaching us this. This generosity isn't teaching us that we are honored, we are special, we have a Rabb. And this we had no way to know on our own. Like this information, we had no way to know on our own. And it is out of our Rabb's utmost generosity, because he's the most generous of all of the generous, that he's teaching us that. Inaba, please share.
Assalamu alaikum. I have a question. Do you understand this way of living where you are enlightened with realizing that your existence is carrying meaning and everything has become readable, intelligible. Do you understand that to be the Quran in its greatest meaning or in its true purpose? Like what is the Quran really?
What is
Do you
the Quran?
understand my question?
Yeah, so is it just the Quran?
No,
I
I mean,
think
is it the Quran? Like we've been talking a lot about on Dr. Ali's halakas, and also we've been we're about to start again. We finished the word on the Quran and receiving Nur right before Ramadan, and now we're starting another one. Do you understand this way of living where your existence becomes full of a readable meaning to be like the real definition of the Quran, of course, which includes the revelation. But like the revelation is what wakes us up to this, and like we start to live it. Once we start reading, it becomes far more than the course, the ayah that we are our guides are of course the Quran, but I think is it extending beyond the pages? Like is
I
this
definitely
when
believe it does.
everything becomes Quranic?
I think
Everything becomes.
it does, Inaba, because even like the way the Sahaba would describe the Prophet, they were saying kana khuluquhu al-Quran, like his manners is Quran, like like the way he lives his life is this is the Quran, like it was a walking Quran. They would describe the Prophet as a walking Quran. What does a walking Quran mean? It means it's application. It is using this like and living it. Like without living it, the Quran is a book, but only when you live it, the Quran becomes a walking, living. Like this is it. Like it's to guide this walking, living, breathing creature, which is us. And those who are able to walk, breathe, behave with it, they become a walking Quran. They become, their whole life is a Quran unfolding and showing us the meaning of the Quran. Like
And then
this was how the Prophet was described.
when you say, when Quran itself says, Sanurihim ayatuna fil anfaqi wal anfus. So ayat are the, ayat itself. The Quran is nothing without ayat. So this reading Quran has ayat and the outside and inside us. And our existence, basically, each and everything is an ayat.
And no wonder it's called Quran, because it's to be read. Like it is only, and no wonder it's not by chance that the first revelation is read. And it's not by chance that the Prophet misinterpreted the meaning of read and said, I'm illiterate, I don't know how to read. And it wasn't by chance that the angel squeezed him and said, no, read. Like he kept asking, read. And the Prophet will keep thinking it's about the letters. And the angel will squeeze like third time. And then he said, read in the name of your Rabb, Iqra bisma rabbika alladhi khalaq, who creates. Like it's all about the reading, is all about the reading of creation. This is the reading. This is the Quran. Like this is how we are taught the Quran is.
Right. And then also, I mean, this is just what's becoming apparent to me just by experiencing this way of life. This is the message that is like coming to my heart. Like I know that even our teachers have been saying this probably for years, but becomes a time when like you start to really sense that there is life without reading, and it is meaningless, and there's nothing there. And then there's life with reading, and it's indispensable. Like it's just so wonderful, and you hate it when it's gone, and like and so then you realize, no, this is something real. And then I started to realize what the Quran means in my life is far more profound than a book, obvious. And then like a book that I close and open, and that has nothing, that doesn't necessarily relate to the rest of my day. It always relates. It is the only relation, really. And it's the connecting relation to my Rabb. And then I'm realizing that Dr. Yamina named her latest book Living the Quran with Joy and Purpose. And now I'm starting to like understand what's more profound about that title. And then also this part of the being told 3 times to read, and then like I believe it's the hadith says that like the angels' wings were expanded, for the entire horizon. So for me, what that represents, what comes to my heart from that meaning is from that symbol is that there was meaning everywhere, from every point of the horizon were the angel's wings. In other words, there was a message carrier in every part that he could perceive. And there was meaning everywhere, which is what it means to live the Quran and see the ayah everywhere.
And it always amazed me because the way we're taught, what does the word Iqra mean? And it refers to literal, like ABC, Alif, Ba, Ta, like letters together reading. It's like, it is interesting that like our prophet also thought that way until he got it. He got it. It's not about that. It's reading everything as a creation from a Rabb who is purposely, intentionally creating for you. The way he is purposely, intentionally creating for me the ability to conceptualize what I'm saying and to articulate it using everything that he's subserving to me and to bring it out. Like this act is a Rabb. There is a Rabb in it. And so no wonder living the Quran with joy and purpose, because once we realize this purpose behind it, you have to be joyful that all of this is being subserved for me. A thought has been the thought to the articulation to the creation of a word is all created for me in such an honorable and easy way. I think it's very important that we keep reminding ourselves and asking this question again and again. Inaba, Jazakallah khair for bringing it up. And thank you.
And also, like what the way that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is described as once being illiterate, but then he became literate, right? Yep. Then he became, given this reading. So this is that's also very symbolic and profound of the transformation in his life.
Yeah, because this is the most generous gift. Can you imagine when a king says, I'm going to give you the most honorable gift in my kingdom, the most generous gift, whatever I'm going to give you now is to show you my top generosity. And God is Akram al-Akramin. And his top generosity to us is this gift of teaching us how to read. Isn't that just amazing? It is not like it's there's so many gifts, the life, the breath, the intellect, the conscience, but how to read all of this, how to make meaning out of all of this is his most generous gift to us, if we choose to accept the gift.
I'm sorry, it's just again, okay. So, and also, do you know the point in the Sirah where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says the kafirun, if they knew what we had, they would kill for it. It's just so meaningly symbolic of the immense gift being so lovable, so wantable, and how without it there's nothing.
So it makes sense because it's indispensable. And who wouldn't like if you think water is your most indispensable commodity, or air is your most dispensable commodity, and this is the most indispensable for your life. So no wonder that hadith, if they knew how indispensable this is, this will be what they are fighting to get. This will be it. We have it, and it's given to us on a platter, and it's given to us with teachers that are applying it, and it's given to us with a community of beautiful souls who come together online and offline and to come closer. So may Allah make us benefit from it. And with all of that, I'm gonna, after Maryam, I will propose a question. But before Maryam takes us to her beautiful journey of connecting with our breath, we're just reminding ourselves that we are now changing our focus from just understanding the application of the names to using the names of Allah to perfect a relationship with Him. This is why we're here. We want to have a beautiful relationship, a relationship that we tasted here, a relationship that is eternal, absolute, infinite, where whatever I do, whatever I invest in that relationship never goes away. Whatever even prayer that I pray in this relationship never goes away. Every time I talk to my beautiful Rabb, my sustaining Rabb, that energy in that time that I spent never goes away. Actually, it fortifies the relationship. How many people in my life, how many venues in my life have I put a lot of energy, whether it was my career, for me, a lot, or family or friends? How many people have you put, or venues have you put all of your energy for a day, a month, a year? For me, 25, 26 years. And then you look back and you say, what actually happened? Like, what was this investment about? What was this about? Like a clear example that I have in mind, last year when we were here, my father had a house, and my husband, like, we were part of that house, like it was our house. And my husband felt the need to sell the house. And I kept asking, what is the investment? Like, my father invested all of his time in making this house available for us. But then we sold the house. And now, after selling the house, because the currency went so down in Egypt today, you cannot even buy an apartment with the money that we sold a huge house on so much land. And the question is, like, what is the meaning of all of this? My father putting all of his time in this, we selling this, the money, summing up to nothing. You cannot even get a small apartment with it now. Like, what is the meaning of all of this? One side of it says all of this is meaningless, like my father's time was wasted, my husband's decision was wrong, the money had, all of this. And the other, there is a connection that even if I didn't see at the time, that I can go back and, like Inaba was sharing yesterday, retell the story and find a connection that makes my relationship with my Rabb perfect through things that could seem like, what is the meaning of all of this? Like, what is this? So we are now using this Quranic guidance to perfect this relationship. May Allah make us arrive to that way, because God is speaking to us all the time through creation. He's speaking to me here and now, all the time through creation. He's speaking to my heart with all the feelings that I'm having. This is ongoing, this relationship. I just have to read this. I have to read what He is. It's like as if Allah is typing for me the sentences, the words, like, outside and inside. I am behind everything. I'm with you. I'm always with you. There is wisdom and mercy in everything that you're seeing and everything that you are feeling, even if it's pain, even if it is fear. That pain and fear is to guide you to take a step that is needed for you as an honored abd of mine. This whole Quranic guidance is basically an unveiling code. It helps us unveil the universe to make us connect directly from creation to creator, and to unveil the feelings inside me, to make them God's speech to me, to honor them as honorable guests from my Rabb that are speaking directly to me with meaning and purpose for me to better a relationship with the being that is reaching out to me all the time with the relationship. God is always saying to me, I'm here with you. I'm always hearing you. I'm always seeing you. I'm the one who's keeping you alive. I'm protecting your existence. I'm inviting you to a continuous relationship with me. And I have an open invitation to respond with, yes, I acknowledge you. Yes, I acknowledge everything belongs to you. Yes, I acknowledge I belong to you. Yes, I am willing to submit my will to your will. And tell me, how should I do that? Guide me to what should I do in this world? This is an invitation for all of us to have God as our boss and friend, as Al-Wali, which he tells us he is. And in that, my time on earth is time to build this beautiful, eternal, meaningful relationship. From getting to know my Rabb, to running to him, coming to him, to falling in love with him, to adoring him totally, which is ibadah, worship and adoration, where to the point my will, I realize my thought is from him. So to the point, like, my will is yours, like whatever you want is exactly what I want. This is an eternal relationship that we have the opportunity to start building here and now. And in order to build this eternal relationship, we need to be here and now. Because only in the here and now can we taste this eternal relationship, can we taste eternity with our Rabb. And because of that, we have an invitation from our beautiful Maryam to help us receive the miracle of being here and now. Bismillah, Maryam.
Bismillah. Thank you, Alia. And welcome, everyone. So, with the beautiful explanation of Alia, now I'm ready to make an intention for our breathing. Please join me. I intend to choose to be clear of my neediness, of who I am. I intend to choose to connect and be confident in who God is as the one who fulfills all my needs, and confirm that I am loved, I am cared for, I am safe, I am valued. I intend to choose to trust, say yes to opportunities to get closer to my Creator with each and every breath. Now with that, sit comfortably, either on a chair, on the floor, with your back straight. Make yourself as comfortable as you can. Place your hands gently on your laps. Relax your shoulders and close your eyes whenever you're ready. And allow yourself to become aware of your breathing. Take slow, deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep breathing slowly. As you're breathing, try to look at your body from outside. Be an observer and observe your breath. How easily breathing is done upon you. And notice how air is being blown through your nose into your body, here and now. Feel this breath coming in and leaving your body gently. Observe how life is sent to you through each breath, here and now. Who is the sender of this breath? Who is the sender of life? The perfect content of my breath and your breath. The perfect amount of each breath and the perfect easiness of our breath is a reminder. A reminder that I am being taken care of in the best possible way by the one who knows all my needs, who has absolute power over everything, and who creates my breath and your breath for us here and now. This one who knows all and who has absolute power and who creates each breath must be the one who gives life to me and you here and now. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the abundance. Feel the love sent to you with each breath. Choose to open your heart so that it fills with appreciation. Take your time to say thank you for this breath. Enjoy. I am grateful for the gift of my breath. I am grateful for the easiness of my breath. I am grateful for the abundance of each breath. I am grateful for the love sent through each breath. And I'm grateful for the trust that I find in me. This trust makes me not worry about my next breath. I am grateful that you are the doer who knows all and who has absolute power over everything, who creates here and now. And I am the one who is done upon, because I don't know. I don't have any power, yet I am receiving your perfect gift of creation here and now.
Assalamualaikum.
And now I am ready to know the one as the giver of my breath. You know all my needs and take care of them here and now. You must be my sustainer, my provider. And I confirm I'm your honored guest by being taken care of here and now. With every breath I receive life. You must be the life giver. And yes, I confirm I'm your honored guest, receiving life from you here and now. With each breath, I receive health. You must be the healer who heals my body through this breath. I confirm I am your honored guest, receiving healing from you here and now. I experience the abundance of each breath. And yes, I confirm you are the generous through the abundance of my breath. And I am your honored guest who receives generosity from you. I experience ease of breathing. You must be the one who brings ease in everything. Yes, I confirm I'm your honored guest, receiving ease from you here and now. This breath is from you, and I give it back to you. It comes from you, and it goes back to you. You're my generous Rob. Keep breathing and try to feel your surroundings, the where you're sitting, either on the chair or on the floor. Feel them saying that I am a creation of God. I'm being created to support you. Reminding that you're safe here and now. You're being taken care of here and now. And now slowly open your eyes and take in the light that fills the room as a reminder that the one guides you with his light. Enjoy the feelings of awe, the feeling of being safe, supported, being guided, taken care of, and loved. We are the guests of honor on this earth, and we have a beautiful robe. Thank you all for joining me, this guided breathing. And now if you feel like, you can describe in one word, how do you feel here and now? And you can put it in the chat box. Alia feels honored guest. Alhamdulillah for the feelings. The moment feels special. I feel guided. Inaba feels very grateful. Hitam feels connected. And Alia says, Thee who gives me my need to breathe and fulfills it with such grace can fulfill all my needs. I just need to give them totally back to him. Alhamdulillah for all the sharings. Yeah. The mic is yours, Alia.
Jazakallah khair, Mariam. This is the way I feel. I knew I was going to feel this way, and I had the slide ready because every time by the end of your guided breathing meditation, this is how I feel. I just feel honored, connected, happy with, content with my being, content with the universe around me, content with my Rabb who's created me beautiful. I feel beautiful. I feel the universe is beautiful. I feel you, Mariam, are beautiful. I feel everyone on this call is beautiful. I feel there's so much beauty and ease into what is happening. And I want to stay there. And my question all the time,
We
to
had
you all is, why? And I want you to answer this question. Why don't we feel this way all the time? What is blocking? I'm gonna mute myself to answer the phone.
your
Why are we not this way all the time? Why don't we feel like this all the time? What is blocking this relationship? Please write in the chat box. Okay, so we have so Ziba wrote, because I am insane, I'm forgetful. Who keeps forgetting, who needs reminders? Yes. Ziba, can you clarify what do you need reminders of?
We, if we were all the time aware, that would be really good for ourselves. And if we were always in that hal, and I think it takes practice to stay in that moment, and like to be aware and to have that, like Mariam walked us through this. So she took us to that hal, which we should be, but we can't be all 24/7. And that's the practice, how much we practice outside and inside connecting. I think that will make our heart closer to that. It won't be, we can't claim to achieve perfectness because we are not perfect beings. So I think that's what keeps us, because, and as much as we come back to him, like Mariam was saying, and the dua for Allah Maini Allah Zikrika, like if we can remember to be in his presence, then only we can be in that hal of always feeling this, like this picture is. But subhanallah, that's the way I think we are created, but we have the potential to be in this state.
So because this question has been always coming to me, we've been discussing, like, what is the block? What is the block in my relationship with my Rabb, who's reaching out to me, who's sending me this breath, who's sending me this nutq, who's sending me the beautiful friends that are with me now, who's sending me, this space that I'm in, who's sending me every feeling, beautiful feeling, who's sending beauty in everything. What is the block? Why am I not in that state? Yes, maybe I'm not in that state all the time, but how can I start being in that state more of the time?
Inaba has written something.
There was a picture. Yeah, go ahead, Ina. Yeah, I didn't see your hand.
She has written in the chat.
Can you read it? Yeah.
Yeah, she has written, while I'm still debating this because we are intentionally created as forgetful beings, is the goal to never be forgetful, or is the goal to remember more often alongside our natural forgetfulness?
I think it's the second, because the more often we remember alongside our natural forgetfulness, the more we are realizing that we are needy because we're forgetting, and we realize the pain that comes with the forgetfulness, the fire in the heart that comes with the forgetfulness. And the more we enjoy the taste of remembering, just like fasting and breaking the fast and enjoying that. So what we're calling for is more and more of those moments. At least that's my dua. What about you, Ziba? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what that's what our striving is, to be more and more. And I think that the need and the fire that we find ourselves in when we are not in that, that's as well a mercy from Allah, that He sends those moments where we are lit on fire so that we can go back to Him. If He didn't put that unease in us when we were disconnected and seeking from some other sources, then that would have been the worst thing in the world to to happen to us. But because we, out of His mercy, he doesn't let us feel comfortable in that state. So that's a blessing that invites us back to Him.
I like that. The uncomfort is a blessing. That uncomfort, look at it as a blessing. Otherwise, we would have stayed there. We wouldn't have known. So last time we had pictures better than this one. This is what I could find today. The block, I feel the block is whatever we are chaining our mind with, carrying over our shoulders, walking with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even addresses this. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, haven't we widened your chest? وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ, and we have relieved you from the burden that you were carrying on your back. What are those burdens that we're carrying on our backs? What are the idols that we are carrying on our backs? And isn't it a miracle that Allah teaches us fasting in Ramadan? And then shortly after Ramadan comes the Eid al-Adha, which is the time for us to actually slaughter idols. There are 57 days left for Eid al-Adha, and our journey together as we meet on Fridays will be the journey of taking every opportunity that we have to break that idol, to slaughter that idol, so that when Eid al-Adha comes, by then we have identified the idol, revised how we looked at that idol, and started retelling the story in a way that makes us ready to celebrate Eid al-Adha. Inaba, please.
Do you mind if I share how I've been working on this personally lately?
Yes, because
Okay.
This is our sharing time. Can you go over this slide again, Inaba? Go over, because this is the discussion that we had that I just put in a slide. Can you go over? Yeah.
Where I go over which part?
You know, like why breaking the idol needs to identify it, revise the answers, retell the story. Can you just take us through the process?
Okay, the retell the story part, inshallah. Well, I was going to share like how there's an idol that has become apparent to me that I have,
Yes.
and how I'm in the process right now of figuring out or deciding what I want to do with this idol. I have a choice. Okay, so this is an idol that comes up in many different parts of my life, and it's usually related to a role that I play, either as my professional self, what my career is. I'm a midwife, right? Or it's my role in my family. I'm a mother, right? I'm a wife, right? Those are my roles. And those are like these titles that I have. And part of those titles, I have these expectations that are attached to them. One of them is that I will be successful in doing that role. And when I and so I expect that I will be able to perform my tasks related to those roles, and it will go really well, and I will be able to say at the end of the day I was successful in this role. So let's take my recent adventure where I was going back to work after being home mom for many years, and I went in as a nurse working in labor delivery. I did it for several months, and over time the night working with a family at home was just wearing on me physically and mentally, and it was making me so sick. And I was always chronically exhausted and picking up all these new health problems. And so what happened was that I reached out to my good friends here. I reached out to the owner of all friendship, and he started to teach me that he was bringing me sickness in my life as a sign to tell me that I needed to make a change. I needed to do something different. And what I decided to do different was to leave my job and to wait and see what he had in store for me next. But as part of this, just to get better from health problems that had come up. So as I'm now in this like recovery period, a major feeling has come up, which is that I have failed and that I am a failure for having left my position. And here I am now, and like I'm feeling a failure in other ways too, like in my other roles now. All of a sudden, my house is messier than usual. A failure. There's other ways that I felt like a failure in my studies of like the Quran and what we do here, and all of this is an attachment to being successful, and that success is an idol, and it's success in itself, but it's also success as my identity, that I should be successful, and if I'm not, then something is definitely wrong. And this is an idol. It is. But now I have to choose what I'm going to do with it. Why is it an idol? Because if I don't have it, then all of a sudden life is so terrible. And also, I think that it's my great idea, not that Allah Ta'ala gave me the love for success, but that I was the one who came up with this great idea that I should be successful in my roles in life. And all of this is very egocentric an egocentric way to engage with my wants and my needs and my desires and my prayers and everything in my life. And so now I reached out to my good friend Sarah. Sarah, if you don't mind, I'm going to read what you wrote back to me. You know, I was telling her, man, these big feelings of failure are coming up in my life. Like, and I feel like I'm a failure in so many different ways. And she said, failing is an interesting state to face. It seems like that when we are failing, seeing God's face, in which case Tauba is the first detour to the straight path. And what a blessing is Tauba. So what a gift is the awareness of this sense of failure, which within it is a desire for success, and within it a dislike of failure. So this is the point where, like, I realized, oh yes, well, that's true. I do want to be successful, and it does feel bad to feel like a failure, but those are not my great ideas. Those are feelings that are given to me. And it's so to detach from them in an ego. So to be attached from them in an egocentric way means that if I am successful, I'm happy. If I'm not successful, if I feel like a failure, I'm really mad. And I'm upset about it. That is not going to take me anywhere besides like problems that I already have inside of me continuing to play out, so that I'll seek out some other opportunity to be successful, i.e. another idol. And if I get that success, I will be happy with my idol. If it doesn't my success, I will be unhappy, be upset that my idol is not giving me what I want. And all of this is a disconnected state. Whereas then Sarah says, all of this is his guidance, and it is all his guidance. It is never separate from his guidance. So what is this whole thing? This whole thing is a teaching experience. I have an idol, but even in this idol, there's guidance for me to slash it, because I realize I can realign with the first question, which is, who am I and how did I get here? Is there any possibility that I'm here by chance? No, I cannot. There's no way. And no, I must have been put here. So all of my feelings and my wants must have been created as guidance in this. And so all of this is like a royal call, she calls it, back to the straight path. So my choice now is, what do I do with the idol of, you know, of feeling of success and failure? And that's what I'm working on now. I'm working on finding love and care outside of these definitions of success. And like Ziba's saying, redefining success. And and I'm also looking at who is giving me these feelings, and what I really, what they're really calling me to. And I'm also, you know, practicing a lot of saying it's okay if the answer is not here right now, as to what's going to become of my life. I'm okay with waiting and trusting that he will, that he's going to unfold a plan for me, or that he has something in store for me. So all of this is related to the relationship that we're building. I guess that's the retelling of the story is that I was more aware of it as it was happening, so I didn't have to go back and retell it too much, but but I'm still understanding it. I'm still understanding why I was given this job as a labor and delivery nurse, why I became sick, why I had to leave it, and what was the wisdom in that. And so that's something that's continuously unfolding. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, subhanallah, Inaba. It's only when, like, it's always, you can put your camera off, Inaba, if you want. Inaba, put your camera off. Just put your camera off. Last time. It's always interesting when there is a real story that is told, because all of us identify with those real stories. And the discussion about, like, you know, when you think breaking an idol is something that we create. And it's interesting that our forefathers in Quraysh, they used to make idols, create idols from dates, like, you know, softened dates, and then they would eat them up and then make a new idol. So unfortunately, we find ourselves doing that. Sister Ziba wanted to share with us ayahs that maybe she will share next time, about how the Israelites, as they crossed the sea, saw the miracle of the sea splitting with Moses. As soon as they arrived on the other side, they asked their prophet to make an idol for them. Like, what is this human nature that needs to touch something and hold on it and believe in it, while the whole universe is telling us there is a Rabb who's speaking to us, but this is who we are. And our journey is to identify them, revisit our answers that we believed, and retell the story. So who else would like to share? Because it's only through the sharings that we get to understand.
Mariam had a sharing. She she said that something, she made an idol and how she got over it. Mariam, would you like to share it?
Please, and can we see you, our beautiful Mariam? Can we see your beautiful face, please? Those who share, yes, thank you.
Changing the location of the computer, so I don't know if you can see me.
We see you.
Yeah, my example was it was during the pandemic time. I am the third child, the last child in the family, and my father passed away when I was 2 months old. And I have an 8 years older brother, whom I told, and I was telling it, and I was telling that he's like my father. But I didn't know that I was turning him into an idol of a father. And the role of father is, you know, to take care of the kids and to be with them. So he has his own family, he has his own children. So it started hurting me that he wasn't calling me as regularly as I wanted him to call me. And then that that sadness took over. So I stopped calling him. I guess it was only once in a year that they were calling me for my birthday. And that made me even more angry and sad. And because I loved him so dearly, I still, you know, at the time I was telling to myself, you know, why doesn't he call me? Why did he forget me? When I go back to Turkey, they're always with me, around me, but here they don't see me. And why doesn't he doing that and this? Then, you know, when we started getting together and have our long walks with Sister Ziba and AlAdha during the pandemic time, and I was pulling out of my weeds from the garden, I realized that, oh, he's not my father. And so we know this, but you know, realizing is something different. Then when I realized that he's not my father, then I, alhamdulillah, guided to see how the role of a father and how Allah was taking care of me along the way. Even though I was raised without a father, he always sent someone who was taking care of me. And then I went like, oh, my creator didn't he didn't leave me alone for 1 second. He was always saying, because I remember father figures in my life. When I went back and realized it, I said, oh, you have always been with me and you have never left me alone. And then, of course, having the expectation of my father, my brother calling me didn't go away. I had to work on it. Every time when I was looking for a call from them, I was telling myself that he is not my father. He doesn't have to call me. Allah is always with me, and he is the one who is taking care of me. And every time I told this to myself, I guess this was the practice for me. And then because knowing is not, it doesn't solve the problem. It needs to go to your heart. And, through that, from the brain to the heart, you need to do the practice. And I kept repeating. And alhamdulillah, now I can see him as my brother, not my father. And I love him dearly. And I'm grateful that my creator guided me.
So Mary, I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Yes, go
You
ahead.
said one question was, which is my crucial question, like how to change information into hal. You said, yes, I knew he was not my brother, but then I had to practice and practice and practice until it became in my heart, until this information became part of my feeling in my heart. Tell us, what does practice mean?
So whenever I had the need, felt the need or the expectation, not the need, but the expectation, because, for myself, it goes like this. I feel alone. I want someone from my family to call me, and it's my brother. And then that turns into an expectation. And as soon as I have that expectation, I went back and reminded myself that he doesn't have to call me. He is not my father, but I have a creator.
So you say that as words, you speak to yourself?
Yes. And then speak to my creator. And I have this easy example I keep telling. Do you remember this one lady wanted Aisha to call her so badly? And then she was praying for that. Oh, I need her to call me so badly right now. And the telephone rang. So when she answered the phone, she realized that it wasn't Aisha, but it was someone else. At that time, she realized that her dua was accepted. So she is being heard, and her need, her answer was coming through someone else, not from Aisha, because that was the best for her. So going through all those examples and steps, I started, I don't know if it makes sense, but in also nonviolent communication, they talk about no expectations at all. So when you don't expect anything from people, and it starts with, expecting nothing from those people, and knowing that whatever comes to you through your creator, but they serve in the way. So our creator chooses the path, the person, but whatever comes from me is not from them, it's from my creator. So that visualizing that path also made me realize or be aware or accept, not to have any expectations from people. So it helped me not expect anything from my brother, because, when I realize it's from my creator chooses my brother along the way. But if he chooses someone else, then he is the giver.
And you did something very important, because you shared with this before. You became clear about your needs with your brother. You called him, but not from a begging point. You called him from an honorable point. And what did you tell him? Because this is very crucial. This point, for me, is the most crucial. Yes.
Yeah, that came later because I always had that need of, being called and receive the love from my brother. And when I saw her, I said, I love you, I miss you, I need you to call me. So, and I showed it in public. I told him that I love you.
And you told him, I need you to tell me I love you, I miss you. Remember, you asked him to say the same words, and it took him a while.
I said, do you love me? Yeah. Do you miss me?
He said yes, and you said, no, I want to hear it clearly said.
Yeah. You remember better than I do. Yes, I asked him, and he said he nodded, and then I said, no, can you tell me that?
Speak in words, don't nod.
Yeah.
Say in words that you love me and that you miss me.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very important key point, Mariam, in the journey, because you could only tell him this with clarity when you did not feel that he is your Rabb anymore. Like, you could ask with dignity, knowing that he can choose to accept or not to accept. And in that moment, you ask with this dignity of saying, no, I don't want you to nod. I want you to tell me clearly, I love you and I miss you. Like, I want to hear these words from your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, it's up to him to accept it or not. But up till that moment, you worked on, is he my Rabb? Is he my father? When you got to the point, no, I have a Rabb and he's taking care of me, you could find in yourself the ability to clearly tell him, this is what I need in this relationship. It's up to you to honor my need or not. But this is, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you, I love you, I miss you, and I would want to hear this back from you. Because this clarity point, if we don't make it, the others also don't know what's in our mind. And it's our fi'li dua, like Yamina says. The dua is not just talking to God, which I love that you always been doing it. I'm going to ask you about it, but also talking to the person, making it clear with no expectations. Like, I'm telling you, this is what I need. And it's up to you to say it or not. I cannot force you to tell me this, but this is what I need. So taking you back to talking to God. I remember you and Ziba telling me before coming to here, just talk to God all the time. What does talk to God all the time look like, Madeline?
Can I show you 2 examples? So my living room is full of flowers. And this is one of them. And I received it from my friend, A. And I received this one from my friend, Z. So when I look at them, if I only see, oh, look at this. And it had flowers the same color with the pots, so they were matching, but now it doesn't have any flowers. If I, whenever I look at him, if I can only see the person who gifted me this flower, it would be, oh, my friend Z gave me this, and I put this in a special location, okay? And oh, look at that pink flowers, and this is from my friend A, and I place this in this location. Done. It's a horizontal relationship. But when I look at this flower, if you can say, oh, my creator knows that I love pink colors. And look at that, they're so delicate. And they show me, my Rabb is delicate. And he made my friend A to go and buy this flower for me as a special gift. I'm so thankful that my friend was guided and chose to buy this flower, and then turn to my creator and say that, thank you for that. Thank you for sending me this through my friend A. I can see your love in that. And whenever I look at this flower now, I can talk to my creator and say that, thank you for making my friend A buy you and bring this to you, and you're a special addition to my flowers. And now it feels like I have this huge garden, and when looking at this garden, have the feeling of the beauty. Oh, you're beautiful. So this is the conversation that I try to make, not only saying that this is from my friend and only, give that appreciation to my friend. On top of it, seeing that it comes through my friend, but then, looking back to the unseen, who made her by this friend, and then take the conversation to him.
Mariam. It's always beautiful to be around you and hear you talk like that. I think the more we learn this language, the more we are reading. This is you reading. This is Mariam reading. This is Iqra bisma rabbika alladhi khalaq. This is the application of what we were sharing. This is how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be looking into things and talking to things and addressing things, looking at the moon and saying, Rabbi wa Rabbuk Allah, oh you beautiful moon, my Rabb and your Rabb is the same. Thee who made you beautiful is thee who put an appreciation of beauty in me. Rabbi wa Rabbuk Allah. What a beautiful thing just to say to the moon, subhanallah. Jazakallah khair, Mariam, for sharing. This is sharing time. Who else wants to share?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Fawziyya.
Hi, I wanted to show you how beautiful it is outside, and my halakha cat is right here.
Yes,
Hold on,
where
let
are
me-
you, sweetie? We miss you. Look at, she's in the best location. She doesn't go for less than best. Like if the window view is the best, that's where you're gonna find her.
Here's baby doll, boo boo. She says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We love you too, mashallah.
So that's all I wanted to share. I thought she was cute, and I'm feeling the breeze, and I felt your feelings, Dr. Alia, about nature, and just wanted to share that with you guys.
So you've been reading. In this moment, you're sharing your reading.
Yes. Jazakallah khair for that.
How do you read the breeze, and how do you read this beautiful cat, and how do you read the way she responds to your touch, and how do you read she's sitting at the still of the window? How do you read all of that?
Allah gives you the faculty. Alhamdulillah. I hope. He continues to give me that. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair for letting me share that.
Jazakallah khair, Fawzi, for sharing all of these bounties with us. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so our journey is going to be through identifying the idols and rewriting our story and retelling the story until we come to this place that we become from those who say Rabbuna Allah, like realize my Rabb is not my work, it's not my spouse, it's not my kids, it's not my brother, it's not my cat, it's not the beautiful weather outside, it's my Rabb is Allah, the all-encompassing, the merciful, the honoring, the beautiful, the ease, the maker of ease, the abundant, the capable, the all-knowing. That's my Rabb. Our need is to join those who say Rabbuna Allah, thumma istaqamu, and they remain on the right course, that right course of reading everything in His name, of realizing there's no Rabb but Him, of going from creation to creator all the time, from the feelings that are setting fire in my heart to say, what is this feeling telling me? Sit down with it, honor it, the CPR that Sarah has advised us with. Listen to the feeling, listen to the need that's under this feeling, and then prostrate. I have not brought this need to myself, and I have no way of knowing how to fulfill this need. but Rabbi Allah, but I have a Rabb who's Allah, who knows everything and is the only one who can fulfill this need. So with the run to him. Run. Take that need and take it back to him and run to him, retreat with him. And be ready to watch him fulfill this need from me, because this need came to make me go back to him. And in this state of istiqamah, this state of staying on that right course, where my face is always seeing him in things, where I'm not detracted totally by creation, I realize creation is just to take me back to Creator. Where istiqamah is to see him creating here and now, to read Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. When I'm in this state, what the Prophet said, shayyabatni, istaqim, this istiqamah shayyabat Rasul, like, gave him gray hair, because this istiqamah is the life journey. It's like keeping your focus all the time. And a question that we have put to help us with this is what's happening here and now? Is it bringing me closer to my Rabb? Is seeing the most beautiful flowers in my kitchen bringing me closer to my Rabb? Or is it taking me away from my Rabb and bringing me closer to my friends? Is this job that I see myself as successful when I do, is my toiling in it bringing me closer to my Rabb? Or is it only building dissatisfaction and despair in my heart? Is this relationship with those that I love, is it bringing me closer to my Rabb? Or is it only causing dissatisfaction of not receiving from them the attention and the love the way I want it and the duration I want it? This question, I think the answer of this question can help us with our istiqamah to see, are we seeking from the right source? And in that, when that is happening, then the promise will come. There is a promise. If you have sabr in becoming with those who do in words and action, realize and experience the Rabb is Allah, and do the action of staying steadfast, seeking Allah in everything, asking, did this bring me closer to him or take me further away? Is like, where am I looking when I'm looking at this? If we do this part, then the promise is فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. That girl standing up, just like after Maryam's breathing, this gentleman, totally satisfied, has no fear from the future and has no grief of the past, because he already went back in the past and retold the story. And he has addressed the fear of the future as a need to be taken care with safety, and turned it back to the only one who can give him this total safety. So inshallah, this is our journey through the coming days to Eid. May Allah help us identify our idols. Be ready to share with us, because that's going to be our discussions, inshallah, till Eid, so that we can celebrate identifying them, going back and resubmitting our answers, and then retelling the story of how my Rabb was taking care of me in every step of the way. Ziba, can you help us with the closing dua, please?
I'll pass it on to Maryam, inshallah. Maryam makes
Maryam,
it.
dear Maryam.
Yeah.
And can we see your beautiful face?
Maryam's name is written on this dua.
Yes, we love that dua, Maryam.
So now I take it as I'm chosen by my Creator. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka afuwun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Oh Allah, you're the forgiver and you love to forgive. And you're so generous. Please forgive us. Without realizing, not being aware, we make many idols, and forgive us and bring us to your path, and help us to break all those idols. Amen. And you are the best friend. You are the best friend. You are the best friend. You guide us to you and never leave us alone. You're the all-hearing, you're the all-seeing, you're always with us. Help us remember you. Help us be grateful to you. And help us see the opportunities to get closer to you. And make it easy, don't make it difficult, and make the result beautiful. Amen.
Ameen, ameen. Jazakallah khair, our beautiful Mariam. Now we can stop the recording